What's good, everybody? We're back on my favorite one today. I don't work here, lady. Let's get into it. I wish the psychic saw this man coming. A long time ago, nearly 20 years ago, our local mall had a psychic shop. It was a tiny little shop that was in the basement. There were only a few stores near it, and they were in the same line of business. There was a magic shop, a crystal healing place, a woman who read tarot cards, and an incense and candle shop. This area was typically deserted. However, they did have one regular customer that I knew, my older sister. She made weekly visits to this psychic. When things got rough, she would visit 2 to 3 times. My sister needed a man in her life, and this psychic seemed to be able to see whether or not my sister's new crush was the one. My sister had a long list of potential husbands, and for each crush, my sister made a visit. The list of gorgeous, hot males was never ending, and when one was crossed off the list, another was added. My sister was a bit premature in her search for the perfect man, seeing as how she was only 16. Another issue was it didn't really matter what the psychic said because most of these guys had no idea my sister even existed. They were teenage boys from our local high school that she had in classes with her or guys she saw at high school sporting events. What does this have to do with my story? I'm getting there. My parents knew about my sister's boy-crazy ways, and in an immigrant Middle Eastern family with very traditional practices, there is nothing worse than a daughter who openly showed interest in boys. Anyhow, my sister was not allowed to leave the house by herself, so I was forced to accompany her on these excursions into the world of the supernatural. Well, here we are at the psychic shop. My sister was in the back getting her palm read and figuring out if she will fall into endless love with that day's man of her dreams. I'm younger than my sister and only 14 at this time and all alone in the front waiting for my sister to get done. This guy walks in while I'm there sitting on some folding metal chairs that were lined up along the wall in the waiting area. He sees me sitting there, so he asks me how much a psychic reading is. I look up from my smutty magazine and read the huge sign behind his back that is hanging on the wall. I say, $15 for 10 minutes, $30 for 20 minutes, blah blah blah. As soon as I'm done reading the sign, I go back to the magazine, not paying any attention to this guy. He seems to see some serious star quality in me, and the guy starts gushing about how amazing I am and that I'm such an outstanding employee. He tells me that he's the owner of another store in the mall and that he would be honored if I quit my job at the psychic shop and came to work for him. I'm in utter total shock, like what in the name of bejesus is going on right now? I look at him with what I assume is a puzzled look on my face, and I tell the guy that I don't work there and that I'm only 14 years old. He calls me a liar and asks me how I had so much information on the business if I didn't work there. I point to the sign hanging on the wall and tell him that I was reading the sign to him. When he sees the sign, he suddenly gets very angry with me and begins to tell me how rude I am. Then he storms out of the shop and slams the door as he is leaving. Sad day for my sister and this man. She didn't find Mr. Right and he didn't find the perfect employee. Those magic shops, they get you, I swear. You could be a total non-believer, go into one of those places and come out believing everything. Karen gets mad that I don't get her a game and tries to get me fired. This happened last year. I was 13 and my clothing choice is always to wear a hoodie. Have you ever seen a Walmart employee wearing a hoodie? I don't think so. Well, this Karen motherfucker did. K, Karen. M, manager. Me, the one who had to withstand the wrath of Satan. So I'm at Walmart getting a game or two or more for myself since I'm a gamer. As far as I remember, it was Ark, For Honor, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I know it came out October 2018, but I'm too lazy to count how many months that is, so I'm just saying it was last year. So I was browsing for games and I'm wearing a red hoodie. My earbuds were in and then I feel a slight tap on my shoulder. I take my earbuds off and turn around and holy shit, it was the most Karen looking being on earth. She had a I demand a parley with the CEO haircut. She spoke in the most Karen sounding voice ever.
Excuse me, can you come get this game?
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't work here, but I did see an employee over there.
Don't lie to me, young man. I see you have that key around your neck.
It took me a moment to realize that my house key wasn't in my shirt. This isn't the key for that cabinet. This is my house key. Plus, I don't even have a uniform on and I'm too young to be working here.
How dare you talk back to me like that? You millennials are always so lazy that you have to say you don't work here. I demand to speak to your manager.
I just tell her to f*** off, run around for a little bit until I'm sure I lost her, go back to get the games I want and go to check them out. I grab my games and see that went ahead and got the manager. She sees me and shouts,
"There he is!"
She tries pulling me over, but I stood my ground. I don't know how stupid this is, but she ends up saying that I assaulted her when the manager saw everything.
How dare you assault me? I will have you fired and arrested.
I just facepalm. Manager, ma'am, I just saw what happened. You tried pulling him and he didn't budge. How are you gonna get him fired anyways? He doesn't work here. Karen.
Bullshit. You're just trying to cover up for him. He does work here and he wouldn't help me. Fire him right now, or so help me, I will have this place shut down.
The manager ain't having none of this, and he just waves over security to put the woman out. He apologized for the trouble and says if I come back, I can get my items at half off. I don't know what happened to the woman, but as far as I can tell, she was never seen at that Walmart again. Edit, funniest thing ever, apparently she was banned from the store. I went there today and saw her getting escorted out by security. Hahaha. Dude's just trying to get some video games. Let the dude just chill and get his video games, bro. He's wearing a hoodie, I mean, come on. Think I work here and demand me to move 30 bags of concrete? Okay. Before starting the story, this will involve a bit of petty revenge and malicious compliance alongside the promised I don't work here lady. So I live in Australia and we have a supply chain of hardware stores here called Bunnings Warehouse. Picture a hardware store for everyone, both tradesmen and your average Joe. I was a teenager at the time and I was dressed in work clothes. I was working for a carpenter at the time. Steel cap boots, work pants, the whole deal. The most important thing about this all is my work shirt. My company uses a black button-up shirt, short-sleeved and collared. Search FXD SSH1 if you're interested. My company also had our logos plastered all over these things. For privacy reasons, I can't show you the logo, but these are the base shirts. Now, the people who work at this hardware store, they wear red polo shirts with green writing. The logo for their company, also, if you're interested, search Bunnings Warehouse Uniform. Now, I was riding shotgun with my boss. He had gone into the store while I was in the timber yard, collecting some bags of concrete for the footings we were about to put in. I was moving some of the bags, one at a time, to my boss's work truck. These bags aren't overwhelmingly heavy, 20 kilograms, 45 pounds for the imperial readers. But I was only moving one at a time. The walk wasn't far, and this was at the start of the day. Last thing I wanted to do is injure myself before the real work has even started. I was on the 6th bag out of 13 when this man came up to me. He was your average DIYer. Certainly not a tradesman, just your average bloke, 50s, balding, and wanted to show off that he could successfully screw together a garden shed. He was just staring at the pile of concrete bags. For context, there are several different kinds of concrete for different purposes: rapid set, mortar, cement, etc. He then asked me what concrete he should use to put in some fence posts. I told him he would be looking at the rapid set. It would suit his needs perfectly. Considering he needed to ask what kind of concrete, I imagined that he hadn't actually done any sort of work like this before. So I gave him the lowdown. Dig your hole, pour the bag directly into the hole, wet it with your hose, dome it off. Pretty simple. So he said thanks, no issues here, so I grabbed my next bag and begin to take it to the truck. Here's where the fun begins. What? Where are you going? He asks. Now, I'm quite confused at this point in time, and then I respond with, oh, I'm going to go put these bags on the back of the truck. Is that a problem? He replies with, mate, my car isn't over there. I'm in the white Camry over there. It's always the dudes in the white Camry at Bunnings. Any tradesman who goes to Bunnings knows exactly the guy I'm talking about. I stand there trying to figure out what's going on. Well, he asks. I figure out that he thinks I work there. Oh, sorry mate, I don't work here. I'm getting concrete for my job, and I'm on a tight schedule. Sorry mate. Now, usually if I didn't have to be somewhere, I would have given anyone a hand. Moving these bags sucks, but he doesn't seem to believe me. What? Look at you. Of course you work here. You got the right clothes and everything. I try to reply, and he doesn't want to have a bar of it. He goes off and says he's walking away.
You better have all 30 bags on my car before I get back. Step on it.
Well, my dearest friend, be careful what you wish for. It didn't matter that I was busy. This was the new priority. Cue the malicious compliance, petty revenge part of the story. His exact words were, you better have all 30 bags on my car before I get back. His car had a box trailer. I knew exactly what he meant, but no, sir. I tried to tell you otherwise, but you did not listen. I needed to move, so I started moving the bags 2 at a time. I placed them all over his car, 12 on the bonnet, 6 on the trunk, and the rest perfectly layering the roof. I see him walk out, he sees his car, and this man's jaw hits the goddamn floor. He nearly had a heart attack.
My car! What the f*** have you done to my car?
I had a grin from ear to ear.
I put all 30 bags on your car, just like you asked.
I was giggling like a toddler. Now, after much screaming, I told him to can it, and he could move it himself. It was late as it was, and my boss was getting impatient. However, he watched this all and was laughing too. Sorry mate, I have to go to my actual job now, so you're going to have to move these yourself. He was not happy, but hey, at least the bags were now significantly closer to his car. He sucked it up and began to move them. I was walking back to my car when I heard him yell. The thing about these bags of concrete is that if you don't support them underneath and just grab them from the sides, they tend to split, clean down the middle, dumping all the contents of the bag in a messy pile directly underneath the bag. He had split a bag, clean down the middle, whilst trying to take it off the roof. This thing spilled its contents all over the roof and windshield of his car, and it was the funniest thing to happen yet. He got the job done eventually, but not before splitting 3 more bags. His car was covered in concrete dust. I left him there, car covered in concrete, whilst he admitted defeat. This one's on you, Camry guy. This one's on you. It's true, man. It doesn't have to be a white Camry, just any Camry, man. Those Camry guys, they're out there. They're gonna get some work done, so you watch out. Alright everybody, that's it for I Don't Work Here Lady. Let me know what you thought about these ones and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.